Germany could double G95 rifle fleet to 500,000 as Bundeswehr expands active and reserve forces. Germany is reportedly preparing to acquire up to 250,000 additional Heckler Koch G95A1 and G95KA1 assault rifles, potentially doubling its planned stock to about 500,000 weapons. Hartpunkt reported the move on August 3, 2026, and the expansion would give the Bundeswehr enough modern rifles to equip a larger active force and reserve while sustaining replacement stocks for prolonged operations. The follow-on order would begin after the current 800 million contract for 250,000 rifles is completed, with deliveries scheduled through 2032. Although neither BAINBW nor Heckler Koch has confirmed the plan, the scale of the proposed purchase signals a shift toward higher readiness, deeper wartime reserves, and faster force expansion. The procurement sequence has accelerated substantially since 2025. The Bundeswehr placed its first production order in May 2025 after a competition launched in 2017 and legally concluded in 2023. Heckler Koch delivered the first 300 G95KA1 rifles on December 4, 2025, to Panzergrenadier Battalion 122 at Grafenwehr. The battalion belongs to Germany's 45th Armored Brigade being established in Lithuania. On December 3, the Bundestag expanded the framework ceiling from 118,718 to 250,000 rifles, and BAINBW exercised the complete quantity on July 6, 2026. The reported second purchase would therefore not replace an unfulfilled contract, but create another production tranche after the existing delivery schedule. The G95A1 and G95KA1 are Bundeswehr configurations of the 416 Hong Kong dollars A8. Both fire the 5.56 45mm NATO cartridge from 30-round magazines and use a short-stroke gas piston acting on a rotating bolt. The adjustable gas regulator has settings for normal and suppressed firing, allowing the action to compensate for the increased back pressure produced by a sound suppressor. The selector provides semi-automatic and automatic fire, with a cyclic rate of approximately 850 rounds per minute. Heckler Koch lists 790 meters per second and 1,250 joules with DM11 ammunition for the 416 Hong Kong dollars family, although actual muzzle velocity varies with ammunition and barrel length. The declared effective combat distance for both Bundeswehr variants is 450 meters. The principal difference between the two rifles is barrel length. The G95KA1 has a 355mm or 14-inch barrel, weighs 3.3 kilograms without accessories, and measures 796 to 878 millimeters as its telescopic stock is adjusted. The G95A1 has a 419mm or 16.5-inch barrel, weighs 3.4 kilograms, and measures 860 to 942 millimeters. With a standard optic, laser light module, and loaded magazine, the weights increase to 4.3 and 4.4 kilograms, respectively. The shorter KA1 is intended for most Army users because its 878mm maximum length is 122mm shorter than the G36A1 with its stock extended. It is not, however, shorter in every configuration. The G36 can be reduced to 750mm with its stock folded, while the G95 stock cannot fold because the buffer and recoil spring extend into the stock assembly. The comparison with the G36 is therefore a set of trade-offs rather than an across-the-board reduction in weight or size. A fully equipped G36A1 weighs about 4.1 kilograms, making the G95KA1 approximately 200 grams heavier and the G95A1 approximately 300 grams heavier in comparable service configuration. The G36 also has a 480mm barrel, a stated effective range of 500 meters, and a lower cyclic rate of 750 rounds per minute. The G95 gives up barrel length and some stated engagement distance in exchange for a rigid metal receiver, current accessory interfaces, ambidextrous controls, and a gas setting intended for routine suppressor use. For mechanized infantry, the KA-1's shorter extended length reduces interference inside the Puma infantry fighting vehicle and during dismounted movement through buildings, vegetation, and field fortifications. The longer A1 retains more barrel length for personnel whose duties place greater emphasis on open ground engagements. The rifle is only one component of the Bundeswehr's new assault rifle system. The standard sight package combines an Elkin Spectre DR switchable 14 optic with an Aimpoint Acro P2 reflex sight. The arrangement gives the soldier an unmagnified aiming option for close engagements and 4-hour magnification for identification and fire at intermediate distance. The Acro P2 alone weighs 61 grams, uses a CR2032 battery, and is rated for 50,000 hours of continuous operation at a specified daylight setting. Rheinmetall's approximately 250-gram LLM Varia array adds a white light lamp, visible laser, infrared aiming laser, and electronically focusable infrared illuminator. These functions allow aimed fire with night vision goggles without requiring the soldier to look through the day optic. The cost of this complete configuration is materially higher than the rifle contract alone. The current ceiling of about 800 million for 250,000 rifles corresponds to an average of roughly 3,200 per weapon, although that figure includes contract changes, accessories, and other services, and should not be treated as a retail unit price. Separate framework ceilings amount to 605.87 million net for 250,000 sight packages and 412.53 million net for 250,000 laser light modules. Including German value-added tax, the three ceilings total approximately 2.01 billion, or about 8,050 for each rifle, optic and laser set before ammunition, training, depot equipment, and long-term maintenance are counted. The case for another 250,000 rifles follows primarily from mobilization arithmetic. Germany had 184,194 active soldiers at the end of 2025, but is planning for approximately 260,000 active personnel and 200,000 reservists. An inventory of 250,000 rifles would equal only 0.54 weapons per member of that planned 460,000 person force. A 500,000 rifle inventory would equal 1.09 per person, permitting allocation to operational units, training establishments, reserve depots, maintenance pools, and replacements, without assuming that every Navy, Air Force,
the immediate
or
demand
support
is
post likely to come from the
individual
Reserve
rifle
and the Homeland Defense Division. The division currently includes 6 regiments, 60 companies, and 42 locations, with reservists accounting for about 90% of its personnel. Its assigned tasks include protecting ports, power facilities, rail movements, and military convoys while supporting the passage of Allied forces through Germany toward NATO's eastern flank. Issuing these units the G95 rather than retaining separate G36 stocks would reduce the number of weapons, optics, spare parts, and qualification courses that must be maintained during mobilization. The proposed purchase should consequently be read as an attempt to create war reserve depth and common equipment across a larger force, not as evidence that the first 250,000 rifles are being replaced or have proved insufficient technically.